So we're going to begin all of them.
I don't care.
All right. Ross is taking a break, laying down.
Yeah, taking a napper.
Going to slap some severe gear in here. Again, AMSOIL 75 140. Got it in the Easy Pack, so pretty awesome for tight spaces. Same pack we put in the XRS, obviously different viscosity. Synthetic also, so already got the oil knocked out, getting the rear done.
Fill's a 17 and the drain is a 17 millimeter.
So awesome. And they're bolts, right?
Yeah.
Both of them are bolts. So
Why they're all not like that, I have no
not
idea.
any hex crap or anything like that. So
Looks good.
too terribly awful.
A little bit of,
There you go. There's the good stuff.
a little bit of a flake, but this is the first
Spray that on a show card.
candy apple, dude.
Yeah.
Like copper. This is the first fluid change in it, so it's gonna look like that probably for the next one or two anyway.
And usually we try to rinse these out, but just gonna slap some good oil in it.
Yeah.
Run it. Call her good. So rear diff not so bad. There's our fill and our bolt here. So not too difficult to change. Gonna get that new stuff slapped in there and move to the front.
Alright, we didn't video filling up, but on these X3 transmission, transaxles, rear discs, whatever you want to call them, these you do not fill all the way up. They have a dipstick and there's a cross hatch in the dipstick. It's probably all blown out, you're not going to be able to see it, but they take about 1.5 quarts. But it's just important to know that you don't fill them all the way up. I don't know how much it would take to fill it all the way up, but not worth finding out. So that's done and easy. 17 on the, the fill plug, 17 on the drain plug. It's right there, easy to get to. Very nice. It's not bad for a Can-Am maintenance item. Did you strip it?
Yep. It's on there forever. That's why I put AMSOIL in it.
Yeah. So now onto the front diff. It's a little more involved. There's like Allen keys and crap like that. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to
And
it
a password.
right now. All right, old Scooch is over here getting ready for this front diff situation. So we were just taking a peek, and for some reason this has a blue sticker on the fill plug. So I'm not sure what that's about, but we're gonna get that off. It's a Allen key, like I said, but you do have to be careful because this kind of blocks you from getting a good straight shot on it. So if you've got a wobble or whatever they call those that you can put in between there to get a better straight shot, to get that Allen in there, and that you make sure you have the correct Allen, that's going to help. Try not to drop the fill plug also down in here because it sucks to get out. I've had to dig one out for a while with a magnet. Just some tips and tricks. So we're gonna get to that. The drain plug is underneath. It is also an Allen key, but a much smaller one. But I don't think these are as bad as I remember. Of course, it's a straight shot to get to it, so shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, dude. That was easy. Now, wait, did it spin it? Oh, okay. Just can't get all the way around this boot. Drop the thing.
Definitely not as easy as the smart lock. Someone needs to make a remote fill that mounts like right here in the frame.
For real, dude. Come on, man.
I think you should be able to spin it.
Well, I'm trying to get it to stick on there so it won't fall
Off and I want to hear this.
Yeah. Come on, man. Oh. Oof, got her.
Go.
It's getting a better bite than I thought. Alright. Bottom plug. Here's the bottom plug. It's really easy to get to. Not a lot of crazy torque on it or anything. They didn't put this together at Kawasaki factories. Come on. Yeah. See, both diffs do have a magnet on the drain, or the drain plug. So we always just clean them off, put them back in, kind of inspect them for any major metal. Everything looks real fine, so nothing to worry about. Just need to change it out. Again, it's metallic-y. It's gonna have some in it. Don't sweat it on the first couple. It's just part of having a side-by-side. So because these front discs, the film is kind of hard to get to, what we started using is one of these fluid extractors. This one's by Mighty Vac, so they don't take a whole lot anyway. Only half a quart or 3/4 of a quart, somewhere in there. This one you do fill until it starts coming out, but by the time you do a couple or three, full, what do you call these, syringe fulls of this, it gets
Automotive turkey baster. It's the technical term.
Yeah. So it just makes it way easy. Just stick the old hose in there, give it a pump, and you're done. There are 3 full pumps, but you get the idea. Slow, great. It's 90 weight.
Is that the bottom?
Yep. And then just jam all the hose in there. Now, if you're doing something more than a quart or two, this would probably take a while, but I'm telling you, this is a nice thing to have, or some sort of fluid pump, because getting a funnel or something in there is next to impossible. It's difficult because it's so tight in between that axle and the fill plug. Oh, coming out. So, I think it was at least. Pretty sure. Yeah. So, about 1 3/4 of that. I mean, I don't know how much this holds, but not a whole lot. So, another one of those things, you're just gonna make a mess because you fill it up till it comes out. mean, they're gonna say fill it up to, you know, a 1/4 inch below the fill plug, but it's not like you're gonna stick a tape measure or a ruler in there to be able to measure that. You just fill it up till it comes out, and then you're good. So Steven's gonna throw the old fill plug back in. Steven's got small fingers, so we're good.
These are highly trained fingers that are average sized.
Yeah. He also worked on a lot of boats.
Yeah.
So
You got to be a contortionist on those these days. Not very fun.
these things don't need a million foot-pounds of torque on the tightening. I mean, they actually have an O-ring on them, so just get them good and tight. Call it good. That way next time, you know, after it's been through a couple mud puddles, it's not impossible to get off because it's seized up by something. So there's front diff, rear diff on the X3. Easy enough. I mean, it's something you need to remember to do. I mean, everything needs maintenance, especially these. They see, I mean, cars are on a lot of pavement on the road where everything's clean. You know, there's not a chance for a whole lot of dirt to get in through the venting. These, you're always on dirt, dust, mud, something. And you got to keep your fluids clean or they'll just eat themselves alive. So
now we're going to do our wheel bearings on this guy. Jacking it up from the trailing arm. Just got some guard in it. Knock these out one at a time. We're going to use our little adapter to make this a lot easier on ourselves. I think everyone's kind of seen these guys. They slide in there, get the job done. No mess, quick and easy. So everyone's a little fearful these things come from the factory, you know, a little dry. So not very packed. So we're going to slap some grease in there. These are getting the original bearings. I know some guys are switching to sealed, and like Bryce did on his rear. On what did you do? Your left rear, right rear?
left rear.
Left rear. So we switched to the sealed style bearing, so those will hold up a long term. So again, as they go out, we're going to swap everything to those, so they'll have a lot more longevity. So we're going to get these guys ripped off here and get these suckers greased up. Right towards the drill. These suckers are quick and easy. Pull the cotter pin and break this guy loose, this castle nut. Getting the caliper off there. I'm gonna go get the ratchets as well. So you're gonna have to pull this cat off to get this off. Then we can pull our cotter, our castle nut, and then we'll have access to the hub to slide in the grease adapter and get this down. So not really a hard process to get these things knocked out. But definitely highly recommend, especially if these things are new or you see a lot of water or a consistent amount of dirt and dust getting packed in there and pushing out any grease that you did have. But really, really too easy to ignore and not do, you know, at least a couple oil changes in, maybe every 3, 4, getting it done. So.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those things like, what oil do I run? Like, people get like caught up in, you know, no, they're fine from the factory, blah, blah, blah. Are they? Who knows? But what's it going to hurt? I know what grease does, so.
Yeah. I mean, the guys have done 5,000 miles, 3,000 miles without doing a thing, and they're fine. Awesome testament to the machine and materials, but it's just too easy to not do and have peace of mind, especially on a $30,000+ machine.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're taking these things out in the middle of nowhere, like a lot of y'all are. If you get a wheel bearing that goes all the way out, you're going to be in some trouble. She is. So this puppy just fits right over the collar here, or right over the axle. It's supposed to go all the way in there. There we go. And, I don't think the 20s had a big old ring, did it? Wasn't it just pressed in?
Yeah, it's pressed in.
It's a big old. Yeah. Sick. A little bit different.
And again, one thing, folks, these washers are directional, so you definitely want to take it off in the direction you put it in. We noticed also that the cotter pin's a higher grade than our 2020s were, so little tweaks I guess they've made. But here's how this guy works.
Alright, greaser tool repaired. It just came unthreaded. Steven's putting her back together. It probably just came apart from the 8 times it's been used.
Alright, let's call that good. Super soft aluminum.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Steel or whatever.
push our luck here.
So
Get back to greasing here.
So, like I mentioned in the other video, this lock and lube, that's how it goes on. Just kind of wiggle it, it locks on. Dude, it's the ultimate. Just gave her some pumps. This is an Amsoil grease. It's supposed to do very well at resisting washout, take high temps, all that good junk. So you can see it's already tighter. There it is. That's more than enough right there. Done. So I would be mindful of this surface right here on the hubs. Just you can see a bunch of dust and stuff fell on it. Just kind of wipe it. Make sure it's clean before you stick it in. That way it just runs right in. No problem. So pull the greaser out. Make sure we don't have any grease on the hub surface or the rotor surface. Oh gosh. Almost fell. And just kind of finagle this. May kind of fight you a little bit with the axle. You kind of have to turn it or whatnot. It'll go in. Oh, let's see what we're hitting. There we go. So the wheel scraper is going to hit, so be careful. It's going to make it a little harder to get on down below. So there. Once it gets inside the wheel scraper, you're good. So then back together the way it came apart, then on to the next one. 2022's done, 2020's done, fluids, maintenance, all of it's ready to go. I think all I gotta do is put my sock on my air filter, and then we gotta knock out just a couple minor tweaks we mentioned previously, so get those guys done, and then we're going to start playing with this ATP out here a little, get it cleaned up like I said, fix some of the wiring on it. Like I said, I got the winch rolling. The cool thing about this is being an ATP, this is that dump bed. So obviously got the solenoid done. I've got to figure out some wiring or
surge tank, I guess is what I should call this, except it doesn't get pulled back into the actual tank on it. So we're going to pull the carburetor out of this guy, put a new kit in it, and get her running like a top. And we got to get the KRX, just finished up the detail on it and get it back to Jeremy in his hands so he can do some ripping now that he's all the way through that break-in, and we'll be good to go after that. So again,
yeah,
appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe. Check out our sites. You need anything, you got any questions, just holler at us. If it's anything that we run, or you're not sure what to run or what to do or how to wire something, just holler at us and we'll get you an answer. So
check out Switch Panels. Panel 20 for 20% off any of Aux Beam's switch panels, which Steven has in his X3. You can see that in some of our previous videos. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. I mean, we like to maintain our stuff and make sure it's good to go. I mean, we've had to do what we've had to do sometimes to make sure we can ride, like with Steven's intake when it blew in half, which we still have in here. But when you're 1,200 miles from home and you spent all that time and money to get there to ride, you're gonna ride. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like Steven said, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.